Hi there. So, a lot of us are now working from home. I've been working from home for decades actually, um, but it's increasingly becoming a change for many people, whether you're working part time at home or whether this is going to be the new normal and actually people are going to be working from home a lot more in the future. Now, of course, the trouble is that's a big change, and it brings with it different kinds of stresses and worries, and that's creating mental health issues, which several recent studies have really underlined. So it's a great time to take stock of your habits, your routines, your ways of working, how you get that work life balance. And these will be useful tools and ways of working, whatever you're doing in the future. So I've developed a series of suggestions, recommendations for keeping your mental health in good shape, keeping your physical health in good shape when you're working from home. And it's not all negative. It will be useful whatever happens in the future. I also put a link down below to some of the programs and courses which are relevant to some of the things I'm going to talk about. So let's begin by having a quick look at some of the research findings and just what is going on.
So there was some really interesting research from Nuffield Health and the ONS this year looking at home working, and it seems that about 80% of people view working from home has had a negative impact on mental health. A lot of anxiety and stress, depression, and an inability to cope with the change, and that's leading to pressure on family life and relationships. So about a third of people interviewed seem to find it difficult to switch off, feeling that they can't walk away from the computer, and people are working longer hours because they feel they need to be able to respond immediately. A lot of people are feeling lonely and isolated, and although video calls are valuable and a way of keeping in touch and having meetings, there are nevertheless real problems of disconnection with colleagues, teams not operating as they used to, and the working environment as a social framework has gone. In fact, video calls can also be a source of stress because people feel they need to be looking good, appearing professional when they're probably working from the kitchen table. And the increased dependency on IT creates stress for people who are not technically proficient. So then there are the secondary impacts. One of the most common is problems with sleep, which has a consequence for all kinds of physical and mental health issues. And diet often goes out the window. So if home working is continuing to grow, then both employers and individuals need to take a positive approach to adapt to this change. So from my own experience working from home and what I hear from organisations and people we work with when we're doing training and good other sources of information, I've created a plan to address these in a positive way with the acronym SLAM. So first of all, the S is for structure. So you need to program your work day in such a way that it doesn't take over. So always start with exercise, do your mindfulness practice, do a bit of yoga. You're probably saving a bit of time in commuting. Use that to shape up your mind and body. Take proper meal times, put coffee breaks in the diary, make sure you take them. And every hour at least, get up from the desk for a few minutes, stretch, move about, make a cup of tea, look out the window and change the perspective of your eyesight so you're looking into the distance, and just kind of do nothing. It's a time to come back to you and to refresh. You might want to set quiet working times when you're not available to other people. You can turn off your notifications, turn off the phone, avoid checking emails, and also make clear when you are available. Try not to exceed normal working hours. In any case, if you work too many hours, productivity actually goes down as a net result. And the NHS studies in, I think, 2015 showed there are considerable health problems created from being at the desk for too long. So turn off the laptop and don't be tempted to work into the evening. And balance your work with other activities so that you get that balance. Second is L, to look after yourself. So take more exercise, use the opportunity to get that balance, at least 75 minutes of high intensity or 150 minutes of low intensity exercise every week. So just, I think about it as doing something pretty physical every other day. Look at your diet, especially be careful about sweet and carbohydrate rich foods. Don't drink too much coffee. Better to replace things than cut things out. So increase your water intake, your fruit and veg. And we've got some simple guidance for creating a healthy gut, which will affect your mental health significantly. Sleep is absolutely critical. You need to get your 8 hours. You need to sleep well. And we've got some mindfulness techniques to help you with that if you're interested. Get outside for your walk or an exercise, especially in the morning, because that helps reset the circadian rhythms, the natural internal clock we have. And it can be beneficial in many other ways that studies are beginning to show. Use simple ways to just pause, to tune in and calm down. We've got a top technique, which we call the 10-second reboot, you might want to look at. And get creative. Take this time to dig out that drawing paint set, making music, knitting, whatever it is that just engages a different part of your brain. Third, actively build good mental health. So we're going to suggest resilience building programs, self-help development. We've got a 6-week mindfulness course online. Do check in with professionals if you are feeling down, if you're getting problems coming up. Talk to somebody in your organization. Maybe there's a mental health first aider, or seek out a coach so that you can get individual and confidential help. And if you are seeing the signs of anxiety and depression, we've got a couple of checklists you might want to look at. Do tell others what's going on. Don't keep it to yourself. Talk to your line manager. They've got a duty of care. Talk to your doctor. Talk to a friend. And also look out for signs of mental ill health in others. Perhaps somebody's being quiet or they're acting slightly strangely. And there's good information from mental health first aid. And we've got a simple guide for what to look for in others, which we'll link to as well. Fourthly, make more effort to socialize. So it's very easy to become isolated. Make sure you build and use your social media channels well. It might be really helpful to other people if you go live on your Facebook page, just as you are, being honest and open about some of the issues you're facing or some of the good things that are going on and the positives as well as the worries. Set up coffee breaks online with people. I literally make a cup of coffee and chat with people. I've also got a group of guys I used to have a beer with. We have virtual beers in the evening and just chat about whatever's going on. Check in by phone. Don't just use email all the time. See how people are doing, especially if they've gone quiet. And get creative about how you meet people and how you can integrate that into your work, like having meetings outside, walking meetings, this kind of thing. So that's it very briefly. Do follow the links if you want to find out a bit more about what we offer help in. Do comment, tell us what's working for you, what the issues are for you. Do give us a like, please, it all helps. And I wish you the best in working at home. Thanks.